back again. Today's topic is vegetarian pho, and it would be lengthy because there is no shortcut for the soup. Pho is a popular Vietnamese beef soup that one can eat at any times of the day. There are 3 key reasons pho is a tasty soup. First, the use of beef bones and marrows as the soup stock. Second, there are specific vegetables and herbs are necessary to balance the taste. Third, most importantly of all, is the length of time for the broth to brew. Now, how do we replicate a hearty flavor of beef pho when you don't eat meat? How do you do that? Not from a vegetable soup can, but from these vegetables. The first step of preparation for vegetable pho is to roast the onion until it's brown and peel all the vegetables. If you don't brown the onion's scent will overpower the soup, but when it's roasted, you balance the taste of the mixture. When you're cooking pho, make sure you have a large pot. I use a 1.25 gallon crock pot. What? That might be too big. I thought so too, since I only use 3 cups of it. However, I save it for a rainy day. You can either keep the vegetable whole or just cut in half if you don't have a large enough pot. Then sling all these healthy plants into a pot. Add 11 cups of water and let it cook for 6 to 8 hours. Also add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. If you don't want any refined sugar, use something natural like sugar cane, as I do. Next, add 1 or 2 teaspoons of table salt, just enough to bring out the flavor. Plus, we will include hoisin sauce later on, and that's salty also. You can always add more salt later if you want to. After 8 hours of stewing the vegetables, scoop out 3 cups of broth if you're the only one eating it. Yep, I'm the green eater in my home. Remember to simmer the soup and put your stove on low heat. Choose a medium frying pan and sear these dry herbs for 1 to 2 minutes on low heat. Then, place them into a spice sachet and drop it into the soup. If you don't have this, toss all of them in the soup and separate it later. Now get a thumb-sized piece of ginger root, char it on the stove until it's pretty dark. Remove the skin, chop it in 3 portions, then pop it into the pot. Simmer the soup for 10 to 15 minutes. That should be enough for enhancing the aroma. While waiting, you could prepare your noodles 2 ways. One by soaking in a pot for an hour in cold water before dipping it into the pot of boiling hot water before placing it in a bowl. Secondly, you can just boil for 5 minutes and afterward pour it into a colander and thoroughly rinse it with cold water for a few minutes. So, let's be clear about the vegetables and herbs that are included in your pho when you are ready to eat it. The only vegetables and herbs that you should be using this are beans, sprouts, culantro, cilantro green, and red peppers. If you want a bit of natural kick, instead of using sriracha, or green white onions, and Thai basil. Thai basil is better than sweet basil. Sweet basil is too strong in its flavor for pho. Most of the time, Southern Vietnamese people use culantro, but it's difficult to find unless you go to a Vietnamese market. If you can't find culantro, use cilantro instead. If you wanted to try culantro, it has similar smell to cilantro, but it's crunchier, has jagged edges, and a bit more pungent. If you eat it by itself, it's slightly bitter on top, but sweeter toward the top. I will assemble the pho. Remember the tofu you have made if you watched my other video? We can use it today if you have it. I combine with other types of tofu to substitute the meat in beef pho. I use fresh tofu, fried tofu, tofu spam seasoned, crumbling tofu, and fried tempeh. My version of tempeh is made from cannellini beans, and if you make this at home, add a bit of salt. Wow, does the soup look enticing? My vegetarian pho in this form had no bamboo broccoli or mushroom. What? Your nutritious vegetables are already what I have stated. After you add all the necessary or optional vegetables and herbs into your bowl after serving, add as much hoisin or sriracha sauce into your bowl as you would like. Don't forget to squeeze a bit of lemon depending on how much of the previous sauces you put in for balancing purposes. Vegans, please do not add soy sauce. Either add more hoisin sauce or a touch of salt. Wait, what are we going to do with the rest of the broth in the pot? Put it in a container of your choice and freeze it. If you put it in the refrigerator, do utilize it within a week. Alright, that's my version of vegetarian pho for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Next few podcasts, I will teach you what to do with the rest of the broth. Probably cook soup for the winter. Thanks for watching. If you live in California, do vote on Tuesday. Bye-bye. See you next time.